We got to go to Oakland. So shout out to Shang Tsung. Who ain't here in Oakland? I call her Shang Tsung, but I don't remember exactly what her name is. Shout out to the mayor of Oakland. Oakland is becoming one of the worst cities in America. You know, when I was a younger lad, before my 40s, I'm 42 years old as of this weekend. When I was a younger lad, I was going to do a worst American cities tour, right? Black Beauty said, AD, if she was a bit, I'm going to read that super chat shortly. I got you, Biz Q. I'm going to read that super chat shortly. When I was a younger man, I was going to actually do a worst cities of America tour and, you know, record it and make it a whole series. And I said, nah, I ain't got time for that. Ain't nobody trying to be out here in these streets. I'm good. Let me go ahead and rebrand and then have a whole nother conversation. But Oakland is on fire, ladies and gentlemen. And it's bad. I mean, it's getting worse than ever before. Let me give y'all some insight on what's going on over in Oakland. This is what the police is battling, all right? Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
In Oakland overnight, police say illegal sideshows took over several intersections across the city.
Police say fireworks and gunshots were reported at many of them.
We've been complaining. The residents have been complaining to the chief and deputy chiefs that we need more assistance, because not only it happened this Sunday here, last Sunday we ran into the one on 35th and Foothill.
Councilmember Noel Gallo was out and happened to drive by one of the scenes. Video from another shows cars on fire, and at one point this happened.
I mean, there were 200-300 young people watching the show, cars spinning around, cars all over the place. But I've never seen so many police come together. Every street was blocked off. What impressed me is they not only came, they cited those that are in the middle of the sideshow.
We asked OPD about the number of arrests or citations, but have not heard back yet. Police say when more officers arrived, the vehicles and spectators dispersed. After last weekend's sideshow, the department posted a reminder on social media. If you participate in illegal sideshows, your vehicle could be towed and seized with a 30-day hold.
And that's the bottom line. We need to enforce the law.
He says the reality is Oakland needs more police officers, and when it comes to the sideshow, it's both a safety issue and a priority.
When my man hit the car, when my man hit the police officers in order to get through, they just let him go. They didn't chase him. They didn't go on a high-speed pursuit or anything like that. He just ran through. I actually looked at a previous video with this. Look.
I mean, there were 200-300 young people watching the show, cars.
They don't even trip. They just go ahead, douche. They had cars on fire. They was burning up cars in the middle of the street. Oakland is wild, y'all. Oakland is not a real city. It's not a real city. This is Oakland. This is America. This is literally the United States of America. Oakland is setting cars on fire. The police can't chase down the criminals. None of that. And they don't even run. They ain't worried about no explosion. They ain't worried about none of that. They just be standing there like, yeah, this is what we do. This is what we do. Oakland, they done lost every sports team. All the businesses is closing. Even Keith Lee said that we can't even go over to Oakland. It's crazy over there.
Night of sideshow chaos in Oakland with gunshots and car fires. But residents say what's different this time is that it ended with a big response from the police. As Don is about to show us, we even have video of someone intentionally ramming a police car.
From West Oakland to
so
East
dangerous.
Oakland, sideshow participants took over at least 6 major intersections early Sunday morning. Police say people spun donuts, fired shots into the air, and even set a couple of cars on fire. Some of the participants mocked parents with this sign that reads, "Drive like your kids live here." But the real fireworks happened at the intersection of High Street and Foothill Boulevard around 4:30 a.m. As drivers were burning rubber and laughing at the cops, dozens and dozens of officers were coordinating and blocking off all the escape routes. It all unfolded in front of neighbor Debbie Wilson's house.
I applaud them. I applaud them. They need to arrest them and keep them in there.
The 65-year-old says the monthly sideshows near her house hurt her health. She recently had a stroke.
I take seizure medication.
That's crazy.
I've been having strokes and seizures. So this kind of chaos I don't need around me. It terrorizes me and it scares me.
Neighbors say it's dangerous for everyone.
They crash sometimes really close to our house. Like, for example, the neighbor's house right there, they crashed into the gate and made like a big dent in it. And I'm worried. I was like, what if they crash into my house, you know?
When you guys go and buy properties a lot of times, and I know there's some people, y'all said go get the belt. When y'all go and buy properties and y'all go and get these places and stuff like that, what I want y'all to also do is not just look at it in the daytime that the realtor decide to schedule it to you when you don't see what's happening. Y'all need to go by on every single night for 2 weeks straight. Just go by at night at random times in the night. 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Just drive by and make sure you go and see what's going on, because you don't even know that you're buying a property where they're about to do a sideshow on. You don't know that you're buying a property that's about to get shot up at night. Go at night and go and look at the properties at night. Real talk, because that's going to show you whether you really want to buy that property or not, because it's going to be bad. It's going to be very, very bad. I'm telling you.
As police started ticketing participants and spectators, some drivers found a narrow pathway out of the blockades. Officers quickly used a patrol car to block that route. A short time later, one driver drove a white Infiniti into 2 police cars to leave the area. He wasn't done. That driver returned to challenge the officers.
And then he came back to challenge the officers. He didn't just go and run. He came back and he did a burnt out and he challenged the officers. Jesus Christ.
One officer appeared to fire some kind of non-lethal projectile to scare the driver away. Other participants tried to leave, but didn't get very far. Officers arrested several drivers and cited a lot of spectators. They also impounded a number of cars.
Make them pay. We paying, we suffering, make them pay.
What impressed me is they not only came, they cited those that are in the middle of the sideshows, and they arrested other people.
Shout out to Dead Pill Reacts.
says typically the cops just disperse the crowds and let them go. Neighbors ask, why can't the cops do this every time?
The response I get, well, we don't have enough officers. Well, we don't have, enough money in overtime to pay for officers to be here.
Police say it can be very dangerous, especially when they're outnumbered by the large crowds. Aside from hitting police cars, some of the participants set 2 cars on fire, likely stolen. As for Debbie, she says shut them down for her health and the health of the city.
I'm from the old school and I'm from the South. They want to shoot and fight somebody and want to drive crazy, send them to the army. Give them an ultimatum.
A lot of the neighbors did not want to go on camera. They worried about retaliation, but they say Miss Debbie Wilson spoke their mind. They added one more thing, saying the cops cannot arrest their way out of the problem. They say the parents have to do a better job and get more involved with these young people.
We've been hearing that for a long time. How come every time that we see this happen, and this is the second day in a row, where somebody said, hey, man, it's the parents. The parents got to get control of what's going on out in these streets, man. Parents got to get control of what's going on out in these streets. And, Eric Daniels, you can forget it. You said more officers mean more taxes. All of the businesses left. All of the residents left. All of the sports teams left. All of the big dogs left. And so now the tax base is eroded, and y'all can get what y'all wanted when y'all said defund the police. But that's not all that's happening in Oakland. It's not just sad shows, ladies and gentlemen. This is the latest to hit my desk from a news perspective of the types of crimes that people are dealing with over in Oakland.
An Oakland business owner ducks for cover as thieves carry out one of the most brazen daytime armed robberies we've seen. Tonight, how this shocking crime, caught on camera, as you can see, could be the last straw for the store that's called Oakland home for 40 years. It's a story you'll see only on 7. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Dan Ashley.
And I'm Dion Lim. That violent heist happened at one of Oakland Chinatown's oldest jewelry stores. The damage done is simply remarkable. But despite all of this, the store owner says their vow to keep it open is stronger than ever, and they're pledging to move forward in the wake of this crime. The chaos and terror that unfolded at Fung Jewelry in Oakland's Chinatown Wednesday just after noon.
It happened so fast.
Is unlike anything the family-owned business has ever experienced in their more than 40 years in operation.
We've been robbed, a few times before, but not at this level of brazen magnitude. 8 individuals with, 2 getaway cars and, guns drawn.
Watch as Tony Trin's 69-year-old mother Diane ducks for cover and screams for help as those 8 individuals smash nearly every single case. With no security guard on duty at the time, her 76-year-old husband comes storming in, wielding a firearm, which scares the suspects away.
If he didn't do that, then they would have just kept going.
Their American dream and the majority of the store,
At least like 85%, 90%.
gone in less than a minute.
My mom was, devastated. My dad was broken.
A devastating blow made worse after the family let their business insurance lapse due to rising premiums.
Her entire life's work, savings, gone in a few minutes. But it is rough. My mom is the leader of the pack, and she's been running the business. As she suffers, I kind of suffer through the same pain.
Crime in the area is what prompted Tony to become executive director of the Oakland Chinatown Improvement Council. Despite what happened, he remains optimistic.
I've seen tremendous progress, even though it doesn't feel like that. In terms
That's
of
messed
cleaning
up.
and safety ambassadors, there's a lot more out there with the night patrols, and we have our walking police officers. During the pandemic, we didn't.
But is he optimistic enough to stay in business?
Would love to. It's just with the environment and how tough it's been. We don't know yet.
Diane says she'll be back to work tomorrow to send a greater message.
We can't let the fear overcome. The only way to reduce crime is actually to have more traffic, more events, more people, so that way we'll have more resources. Strong Oakland Chinatown is a strong town for every community, especially in Oakland.
Oakland police ask anyone with information on this case to contact the robbery division. Now, because Fung Jewelry does not have insurance coverage, the Oakland Chinatown Improvement Council is running a GoFundMe to help. You can find a link to it at this story at our website, abc7news.com.
That's messed up, bro. Gosh. She don't even have insurance because she wound up letting it lapse. Man. Your entire life savings, everything that you ever invested, it's all just gone in a snap because people came in and they wanted to just take your American dream away. Gosh. I feel sorry for anybody that actually moves to Oakland. Or is anybody still stuck in Oakland? I honestly feel sorry for them. Why is a GoFundMe for a jewelry store wild, considering the details that we just shared? I mean, I'm not saying that everybody is going to go to donate to the GoFundMe or anything like that, but why is that wild? Why is the wild part? Because y'all saying a GoFundMe for a jewelry store is wild, and they basically just told you that they let the insurance lapse because it was so expensive, or the cost of running the business continued to go up. They don't have no other intangible skills. They probably don't have no degree. They've been running that store literally for decades. Why is the wild part not the fact that criminals are able to get away and just take other people's stuff that don't belong to them? That's the wild part. The wild part is the criminals. Listen, business owners should be able to operate without having to worry about people coming in and destroying their stuff. People should be able to have homes without having to worry about squatters. Police officers shouldn't have to worry about getting taken out every single day in shootouts. The wild part is that we live in a chaotic society where our president is more concerned about what is happening over in Ukraine than what's happening here in the United States of America and all of this crime that's happening in the major cities. That's the wild part. I don't know. I could be off, man. I could be off. Don't get me going, because I don't be knowing. Let me go ahead and read some of the super chats because, I'll be off. I know I'm off.